So, FF7 Part 3 got fully announced at Summer Game Fest, and I can finally stop calling it Part 3 because holy shit, Final Fantasy 7 Revelation. I want to do a little breakdown of the trailers we got. It was shown off right after Tifa in Street Fighter 6. Oh my godular goodness.
I'm sorry, Kingdom Hearts fans, for eating all the food.
The first thing we see is the Edge of Creation from Remake. Immediately, this is pretty similar to the 2015 first reveal of Remake, with the narrator talking. I think it's the same guy too.
At last, the promise has been made. At last, the promise is fulfilled. The journey ends here.
And the shot of Sephiroth is so damn cool. He's holding Cloud, which I didn't notice at first. One interesting thing confirmed is that Sephiroth's voice actor has changed. This is kinda sad, but the previous one wasn't able to come back for this game. It sucks. I was used to him by this point, but hopefully the new one will be good and he grows on me. I want to point out, we haven't really heard much of the meteor in the first two parts yet, besides the final line of Aerith in Rebirth, and obviously the black materia. But this trailer puts the focus on it a lot. Most of this trailer seems to be taking place mid-game. They didn't show off anything early game or late game besides maybe this shot that looks like the northern crater. I'm not sure where Vincent is though. The whole trailer is so weird because both of the first two games showed off the early game events in the marketing. Rebirth's announcement had Nibelheim and Zack, while a lot of marketing for Remake as well was only from the first two chapters. I think it's because when Rebirth got announced, they showed it off at an FF7 anniversary livestream, and the trailer wouldn't be that exciting or make sense to anyone besides that. So with this game, showing it off at Summer Games Fest for the first time, and showing how large the game is in scale, makes it look amazing to even casual fans. I watched this trailer with friends who, while they've played the Remake games, they weren't nearly as invested as I was into them. Even then, they both thought it looked peak, so I think the effect actually worked. Let's continue with this trailer though. We have the weapons from the OG game and they look fucking insane. But also the wacky new fish looking ones from Rebirth are still present, as we see later. They get to the main appeal fast though, the high wind. I like how they just put the camera behind it. We don't see anything like airship combat, but that might get revealed later. We do get this laser thing in the second trailer though. And holy shit, Vincent is aura forming. This shot is killing me, like bro, just jump off normally. Cloud jumping off is clearly not happening at the same time as everyone else, because he jumps off without the others in that shot. For anyone that doesn't know, after a big moment in the original game, Cloud becomes unconscious for a while in a clinic at a place called Mediel. This is a pretty tiny area in the original game, but here, oh my god, they expanded it significantly. I really like that their solution to not landing the high wind is to jump off of it. This Fortnite ass battle bus jump is so funny, and that's clearly the grasslands from Rebirth underneath. I'm interested to see if they have the regions still, or if it's just going to be connected and they don't draw a firm separation between the areas. Next we see Wutai, and obviously it looks great. I know they showed the PC version of the game, but wow, it looks beautiful. The lighting is way better than in Rebirth, and again, the scale of the game is incredible. Finally, we get to the Vincent gameplay, which looks so damn cool. There's a fight later where he shoots up in the air to set up some combo shit. Not to mention he can turn into Galleon Beast with just the press of a button. I wonder if they're gonna have his other transformations. And Vincent was the most hyped newcomer, but damn, Cid really surprised me. He looks insane as well. He can heal the party too, which makes sense cause rip Aerith. The next part completely surprised me. Costumes, yippee! Tifa, my beloved, looks incredible here. And Cloud, get some sleeves bro, you look stupid. These costumes are more than just cosmetic, and I'll get into that later. The camera really zooms out in this game as well. You can see the progression of this throughout the games in the trilogy, where Remake's camera is pretty close to the character. I can't get enough of the weapons though, they look so good. Here's the new Sephiroth voice.
Let us put your faith to the test, Cloud.
Already on repeat listens, it doesn't sound bad, but still, it'll take time to get used to. It was so jarring when I noticed it. I actually didn't even think it was Sephiroth talking at first. I thought it was just the narrator guy again. Also, Sephiroth here is holding the white materia. I didn't catch this the first time either. I'm not gonna lie, I think they showed too much. Like, I'm happy, but this much stuff is insane for first reveal. But again, it's probably to reinforce what the game is to a casual audience. They want to sell it to people who haven't played the other games. The final shot from this first trailer with the flowers is so sweet. This is really the only mention of Aerith and Zack so far, besides Tifa saying this.
I can do this. I'll make you proud.
Although heart can't take it. Now, this next trailer goes more in depth with the stuff we saw. We see Rufus and Hojo, and this just reminded me Hojo turned into a zombie eventually. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this scene of Sephiroth and Cloud is the past Nibelheim version of Cloud. It also looks like the cave with the materia lake. Maybe it's part of the flashback of Cloud finding out the truth. The next thing we see is the outskirts of Midgard. This looks like the expressway at the end of Remake. I'm so excited to go back to Midgard, man. And again, these new areas shown look great. While we see Mideel and Wutai, we don't see Midgar's return or Fort Condor, Rocket Town, or any of the snow areas beside the northern crater. And now they actually show you landing on the map from the Highwind, just seamlessly onto Mideel. It's so exciting. Now if I missed something with these moments of gameplay in the menus, please let me know in the comments. But one, Cloud's able to use 3 summons, so you get multiple summons with each character, which is a great addition. Also, they didn't actually show the summon fighting with you, they just cut to the final attack. So my guess is that they're gonna function differently. Maybe they're playable, and that'd be pretty cool. You know what's cooler though? Vincent motherfucking Valentine, look at this guy. This is some Dirge of Cerberus ass gameplay. I'm kinda worried this shot of him aiming is only open world interaction, like how in Rebirth, Red could climb walls, or Barrett can shoot rocks, or Kate Cid could fucking throw boxes. If they don't have this aiming shit in the actual combat, I'll be kinda sad. Now this menu has a lot that I could possibly miss. First, the costumes have different attacks. They're called fits, by the way. They function like an old Final Fantasy drop system, which is an interesting change for sure. These are going to be so fun to collect, and I'm sure they're going to have Advent Children outfits too. This menu looks so clean though. The background of your team is such a good touch, and it might be different depending on which area you're in. They have 52 hours of playtime here, but I'm sure that doesn't really mean anything. These fights against the weapons look so grand. The soldiers are working with us, I think. I can't recall if that happened in the OG game. Maybe after the attack on Junon and like some place in the northern crater. But it would be cool to team up with Shinra sometimes. Maybe even get a playable Rufus. And finally, what I've been waiting for. Tifa in cuffs. My, this is the content I was waiting for. Thank you, Square Enix for... Okay, that's enough. Actually though, this is a cool shot to get just a small tease of the escape from Junon. And I think it confirms you're gonna have the slap fight with Scarlet and Tifa. Also, tell me if I'm wrong again, but is that headless Genova? What part of the game even is that? I saw this afterwards, but apparently you only have one chocobo. It's gonna unlock all the abilities over time instead of having a chocobo per region with each having their own unique ability. That's another sign to me that formerly separated regions might not exist anymore. And Whispers are here too. They look like the Sephiroth version. Finally, we get Sapphire weapon coming out of the water, and oh my god, the build up to it with the music was so good. And also the final shot of it has the Sephiroth music playing from before his fight in Remake. Overall, what a great showcase of the game. I hope it doesn't look ass on PS5, but considering how Rebirth was, it might be over. But now that we're done with the trailers, let's cover some extra info we got. First, the live stream with Maximilian dude. So right after Summer Games Fest, Hamaguchi just pulled up to Max's house, which is funny as hell. Max got to ask a bunch of questions to him, so let's go over some of the interesting answers that I haven't covered so far. So Hamaguchi talks about how the common perception of the game is characters and story, but exploration matters a lot too. That makes so much sense. FF7's world is quite literally a character. Like, it's actually alive, it has defense mechanisms with the weapons, and it's dying. So in a sense, exploration is still about the characters of this universe, because the Earth is one. He confirmed Rocket Town also, which was expected but not shown. All the characters get 4 fits to them, which that's lower than I thought, but if they are all gameplay based, then it makes sense. I hope they do have more cosmetic ones though. Skill trees are also similar to Rebirth, but they're intertwined with fits. So I think each fit will have its own skill tree, which might be pretty crazy. Chocobo breeding seems to be present still, but it's going to be kind of different, and most of the focus is on just the one chocobo. He also confirmed that the day and night cycle is mainly focused around the story, which is kind of a bummer. I would have loved to have sunsets or nighttime moments for the open world as well, without having to rely on the story chapters. Like for example in Rebirth, if I want to play in the sunset of Junon, I can only do that in chapter 4. Afterwards, it just looks kind of ugly. He said multiple IPs also wanted Tifa, which is pretty exciting. Maybe a Fortnite collab with Final Fantasy 7 eventually, who knows. But Street Fighter 6 lined up with the announcement for Revelation, which was amazing. And yeah, he confirmed Sephiroth's new voice actor, but it's so funny that the Sephiroth voice actors just have this ongoing tradition of playing Superman as well. You can tell Hamaguchi cares so much though. He's relieved it's almost done, but kind of sad too. And he's making sure that the ending is satisfying, which I'm pretty grateful for. And finally, he said we won't have to wait too long for more info. This could even be re-shown off at the rumored next Nintendo Direct or something. But my guess is for major new info is either Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, or the next day to play in like September, with the Game Awards as an obvious place for another trailer as well. Now let's get on to some tweets online that I saw about extra information I haven't covered. So first, from Audrey on Twitter, her choice will have consequences unlike Rebirth, and this will affect the storytelling of the game. Each player might end up with a completely different experience. Now that's pretty interesting. I doubt this is like making choices for the story and more of, for example, what character dialogue you pick or what side content you do. The Highwind airship will be available from the beginning of the game and the job system as well. Now that's pretty interesting to me. If the Highwind is available early game, that means a lot of the Junon stuff is going to be within the first few chapters. I hope early game means like within 4 chapters because I don't want them to rush through everything at the Northern Crater and all. Maybe the Northern Crater is like the first thing you do in the game. Also, new stories will be told regarding places not explored much in the OG. So for this, I'm assuming it's like Mediel, Bone Village, and the Snow region. Maybe it could have Modeoheim from Crisis Core if they feel like fleshing it out more. That'll be pretty cool. There are a lot of areas you can access with the Highwind early on, but you might not be able to proceed since enemies are incredibly strong. Now this is a really cool idea. See, I actually didn't like this that much when it came to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because that kind of limited the exploration a lot. However, I think here, since you're already focusing on the story a lot anyways, and you have like a specific path to go story-wise, you'll probably be led on what the correct path is while having the option to do whatever you want on the side. And I'm sure if you're crazy good at the game, you could beat some pretty difficult enemies like immediately, which that sounds pretty fun. Also, there's no time limit to Galleon Beast, similar to how Yuffie uses a Shuriken mode. I'm pretty sure she does have a time limit though, because the Shuriken comes back. It's very adept at aerial combat. Yeah, we see that, and that's pretty cool. Zack will have even more scenes in part 3 and play an important role. He better. The replacement VA for Reno, that's the Japanese voice. Wutai is incredibly fleshed out this time. Midgar's back in part 3. You may even encounter some deep ground characters. That's pretty cool and exciting. So Rocketown's gonna be in the latter part of the story, which is pretty surprising. Me and many other people kind of assumed it would be one of the first things you do before the Northern Crater. But again, they want you to go to the Highwind early, so I think they're gonna try to do all that stuff faster than expected. Oh yeah, Knights of the Round. Yeah, that's discussed by the fans a lot, and I hope it lives up to the hype. Yeah, Hamaguchi doesn't really like the concept of multiple endings, as the creator wants to deliver a confident ending. Yeah, this is great. Player choice will just affect how things happen, but it won't end differently, I guess. Yeah, and the slap fight's confirmed too. That's great. And from Stealth, Hamaguchi said regardless of feedback, he refused to reduce the number of minigames in Revelation. So you can read everything he says here, but I think this is a pretty good choice overall. The problem with Rebirth wasn't necessarily the minigames, it's how they were implemented. Plus difficulties is obviously a good thing too. This just makes them easier to handle for everyone. So the people who love them can still play them, and the people who don't really have to. And ending off, I love how happy Hamaguchi looked. Not only at Summer Games Fest, but also with Max here. You can tell he cares so much. He pulled out the English for this reveal too. Thank you for gracing us with peak fiction, my goat. I think Revelation is such a surprise name. Most of us were expecting Return or Reclaim, but they didn't even give us a name with the prefix re, as in doing again. Now it's just a word that starts with R and E. I do like the name though. It makes a lot of sense, but it'll take time to stop calling it Part 3. They apparently never even considered calling it Reunion, which makes sense because of this fucking game. Should have just called it Crisis Core Remaster. So between the few choices they had, Nomura was the one who picked Revelation. Hamaguchi focuses on the theme of resolve a lot, and it's pretty clear that the team is ready to be done. Even before the announcement, he said Part 3 will fully conclude and pay off everything before it. And I just want to say, it's been a real fun ride up to reveal. All that theory work on the name and how things will work, but now we're in the second last phase, awaiting release. I can't wait to conclude this trilogy, and man, there's never gonna be anything like this ever again. The sheer ambition of a remake like this to everything that came before can never be repeated. No one else would dare take such a massive risk. This is why I respect these guys so much. Anyways, thanks for watching. I might cover future trailers as well. Take a look at the subscribe button and have a good one.